12 or 13 of them dead now.
Oh
Really?
my
Hi,
goodness.
everybody.
Yes, it is unreal. And so this girl, she went with her boyfriend to Tampa, and her boyfriend went to hunt down this Giulio Fulio. His name's Charles, his real name, and they killed him in the parking lot of a hotel for on his birthday.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
And
goodness.
then yeah, she's
Julio
been
Fulio.
on trial. She
Huh.
had a baby in jail and everything.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's
Oh, so
verdict watch.
you're live now?
Yeah, I'm live now.
Okay, I'm gonna go to your live.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm
Love
gonna jump
y'all.
down.
Okay,
All
here
right.
we
Well,
go.
yeah. Thanks for coming in and on, and I'll look for that trial though. That's been, and
Yes, I'll send you the link.
yeah, and then tomorrow we have an auction. So if anybody wants to sell, come on up tomorrow. Um,
Okay, okay.
what was I gonna say? And I'll get you Twisted's information.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All
And
righty.
then hi Twisted. Oh, there you are, Twisted. Hi there, Twisted. Okay, let me. So we had a power outage. That's what I was. So I was going to tell you, Twisted. I said if I lose my power, we had you won your game tonight. Oh yay, go Jotters. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about this Mumby girl. Okay, Leigha. Let me get. Let me get this. We're going to do a little dive into this case here. So, if I get my thumbnail, it'd probably be easiest to show you something. Downloads. Right there. Okay, so this is the couple before, and this is Leigha Mumby and Daniel Waterman. So they were going out. Leigha found out she was pregnant. This is like Super Bowl weekend last year, and let me get my bearings straight here. Hang on a minute. He is this happened in Florida. He's originally from New York and Syracuse, a little more upstate than me. And they got into a fight at this. They were at a Super Bowl party. She had found out. Let me see. She's 24. She was arrested in July, but he was still alive. She was on I-95 and veered her vehicle into a tree. So let me get my stuff on this. I'm sorry because we lost electricity and then everything just got crazy. Okay. Here's another picture of the two. Now the baby survived that she was pregnant for, and that is another issue in what's going on here. So let me tell you what happened. She slammed deliberately. She started driving recklessly and slammed the car right into a tree during this argument. And this was because somebody allegedly had texted him from, I believe, from New York, and she thought he was cheating. And so she was, they were having an argument. And then, hold on a minute, something's going on with my computer. Don't do this to me. Hold on, let me shut this down. What is with this? Okay. Hang on. It's probably the freaking weather here that's making a nutty thing going on here. So, come on. Don't do this to me. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Sorry, guys. All right. So he's from New York, like I said, Daniel Waterman. And I'm going to show you what happened, how he was after this crash. He was in really serious condition, but they thought he was going to make this. He started to take parenting classes, believe it or not, and then he got pneumonia, and he passed away on right after the first week of October. I think it was the 8th or 9th. Okay. So, let me see here. He was left in a coma. They put him in I believe they also put him in a medically induced coma as well. I'm trying to get to I want to get to the original article and coverage of this. Okay, so just hold on. I'm trying to get back to, I want the original reporting for this. Okay. Come on there. Sorry, guys. All right, so new charges have been filed against her, right? Because he died. So she was driving on Interstate 95 in Flagler County. That's in Florida. Daniel Waterman, he was in the front passenger seat. He was 22. She was 24. This happened February 9th, the night of Super Bowl Sunday. The car veered off the road, hit a tree, and emergency services responded, and they had to extract both of them from the car. They both had significant injuries. Mumby was released from the hospital a few days later. She told law enforcement she didn't know what happened prior and only remembers waking up in agonizing pain. Now, Daniel Waterman was in critical condition. He was unable to speak with officers until May, when he said the two had been arguing in the car before the crash, and Mumby told him that she was pregnant. Waterman had also received a message from a woman in New York, and Mumby started to drive recklessly as their argument unfolded. Waterman told the police that Mumby slowed down before speeding to up to 80 miles per hour and told him, "I don't care what happens, you'll get what you deserve." And she intentionally drove off the road and into the tree. Okay. Now, she was charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and reckless driving causing serious bodily injury in July. Mumby was taken into custody, according to arrest reports, and released on $30,000 bail. Now, on October 27th, Waterman's family said they had been fighting for his life with broken bones, injuries to his spine, collapsed lungs, but they thought he was going to make it. But he contracted pneumonia, and he died on October 8th. And he was back in Syracuse, New York. October 27th, an additional charge of vehicular homicide for operating a motor vehicle in a reckless manner, likely to cause the death of or great bodily injury or harm to another, was filed against Mumby. Waterman played basketball and football. His family said he was excited to become a father. "It's just so sad as he had his whole life ahead of him," said a family member. "I'm never going to see him be a dad, and I'm never going to see him be who he was supposed to be." She's supposed to make her next court appearance on November 19th. But I'm surprised there's no charge for the baby. And let's see her arrest report. Okay. Let me see here if we have that. Okay. Trying to get, because they have the report that there was like no braking and they have her turning and veering into the tree. Let me see. So is it another, Shirilla? It's, she lived, the baby lived, and, he believes it's his child. His family is fighting for custody of the child now. Why would she get custody if she put the child and didn't care, intentionally crashed the vehicle? Let's see. Okay. The Florida Highway Patrol reports the couple was arguing. Now, here they say she was going, accelerated her vehicle to more than 90 miles an hour and drove straight into the tree. Let's see. This was not an accident, said John Hager, an attorney for the Waterman family. Evidence shows she didn't use the brakes. The car was speeding up at the time of impact. Hager also confirmed that Mumby was pregnant at the time of the crash, and she recently gave birth. Okay, she has given birth. Okay. Let's see about if we can find out anything about the baby. Where is the baby now? Who has that baby? Let's check it out. She has since given birth, so when did she give birth to the baby? February. She would be due around November if she had just found out, right? So she can't be. Let's see here. Okay, here's something else. Let's see. So Mumby was driving a 2019 Honda Passport when she crashed into the tree, driving on I-95 just south of the Matanzas Woods Parkway's interchange. No other vehicle was involved. She'd gone as fast now, they're saying 95 miles per hour, moments before the crash and intentionally swerved off the road. She and Waterman were severely injured, Waterman critically so. The brunt of the impact had been on the right front passenger side. That's where he was. Waterman was in a coma for months. Mumby told the Florida Highway Patrol investigator she didn't know what happened. She didn't remember. Let's see here. Then in May, Waterman used a letter board, since he still couldn't speak, and a reconstruction of the crash based on a vehicle computer led the Florida Highway Patrol to accuse Mumby of intentionally causing the crash, which she was charged in July. That was before he passed. And his family lives in Liverpool, New York, which is a suburb of Syracuse. He never recovered from his injuries, and he never left hospital beds. He spent months on end in Halifax Hospital in Daytona Beach. And let's see. And then he was, his Florida bills alone were up to $2 million before he was flown to SUNY Upstate Medical University Hospital in Syracuse. Let's see. So they have, let me see here, there's, in an interview, let's see who this is. This is cousin, his cousin, okay? Her name is Jessica Stapenbach. She is not on the prosecution's witness lists, but in an interview, she recalled Super Bowl Sunday that Mumby and Waterman were the two people I care about the most. She considered Mumby her best friend at the time. After her positive pregnancy test that morning, Mumby was happy and intent on having the baby. Waterman was not so sure. My cousin was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? She advised the couple to calm down, telling them they had time to decide. They went to the beach, and then they went to Stapenbeck's place to watch the game. The couple was not arguing, she said, but Waterman was withdrawn. They were cordial, except you could tell something was going on between the two of them. Daniel was kind of quiet. During the game, they were sitting close together, each on their phone. When Mumby and Waterman left towards the end of the game, Mumby drove to that Matanzas Wood Parkway, then to I-95, down to Palm Coast Parkway interchange, turned around, and drove back north. She's not sure why. The crash occurred between two exits at mile marker 291. And the cousin said and I'm quoting her now, she called me at 10 minutes after they left screaming about how my cousin was texting another girl and this was ridiculous. As I said, again, trying to play both sides, not to be biased on either side. It's a busy day on football Sunday. You guys can worry about this tomorrow. A lot was going on. She's saying I was picking sides and she just escalated the situation and hung up on me. And then she ended up turning around at the next off-ramp and then calling me back about 5 minutes later, and she was just very hysterical again, screaming at me, telling me how my cousin is, and I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation before she abruptly hung up the phone, and then, right after that, the crash happened. Okay, now here's the picture of the vehicle. Get this. Hang on. Get this up here. Okay. There it is. Here we go. That's what the vehicle looked like. Okay. And hang on. Let me get where I was. Oh boy. Okay, so now the FHP investigator Darren Harper determined that Leigha Mumby intentionally swerved off the road to crash the vehicle, the SUV. According to the data harvested from the car's computer, the Honda was going steadily around 93 to 95 miles per hour, 3 to 5 seconds before the crash. The accelerator increased 4 seconds before the crash, which related with capital letters. The brakes were not applied, ABS was inactive, and stability control was not engaged. The anti-lock braking system, or ABS, helps prevent wheels from locking during hard braking. Then the report went on to say a notable steering input of 45 degrees right at 3.5 seconds before the crash, followed by a sudden left input of a negative 30 degrees at 3 seconds prior to the crash, and braking initiated 2 seconds before the crash as the vehicle went from 93 miles per hour to 52 miles per hour at the moment of impact. Significant steering input reflects aggressive maneuvering. RPM rises from 2200 to 3100 RPM 2.5 seconds prior to the crash, suggesting acceleration or high engine load before dropping rapidly as braking takes over. Waterman sustained a list of life-threatening injuries: cervical spine injury, clavicle fracture, femur fracture, hip dislocation, epidural hematoma, pneumothorax with pulmonary contusion, zygomatic and temporal contusion, talus fracture, leaving him in critical condition. Okay, in an interview with FHP's Harper, Waterman stated that he and Leigha were in an argument due to personal issues, with Leigha finding out she was pregnant that day in a text message Daniel received from a female friend in New York. Daniel and Leigha exchanged expletives. Daniel stated Leigha began driving recklessly. Daniel stated she slowed down to 50 miles per hour and he tried to get out of the car, but Leigha began to speed up to 80, 90 miles per hour. Daniel stated the last thing he remembers before the crash was Leigha told him, "I don't care what happens, you'll get what you deserve," and swerved off the roadway, colliding with the tree, incapacitating Daniel. Let's see. Based on Harper's investigation, Mumby was found to have intentionally caused the crash. Parallel to a court case, a pretrial for Mumby on Tuesday was continued. Waterman's family has been seeking information about the pregnancy and the due date without success and may fight for custody of the child. Just last week, the Waterman family retained John Hager, the Daytona Beach attorney, to represent them as victims with the right to confer with prosecutors and to be informed on all proceedings. The contacts have been taking place. The next pretrial is scheduled for November 19th. And so they can't even find out information about the baby, I guess. Just that they somehow know the baby's been born. Now let me see. Hold on. I wanted to get this over here. I want to go to the chat and see what you guys know, if you know anything. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Hi, Megan Els. Hi, Darla Darling. Hi, Jen Grill. Oh, I'm in top chat. Hi, Denise. Let's see. What's up? Why is... You can hear me, right? Please tell me you can hear me. Hold on a minute. I gotta see this, because if something's really crappy.
You're live now?
Yeah, I'm live. Going on here. Oh, good. Oh, good. Because I saw you had a question mark, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so you haven't heard of this case before. Okay, good. So, you know, this case, he just passed on October, what was it, 8th? Of course, we haven't seen text messages or anything yet between the two of them. So we don't know what's going on, but it certainly looks like, you know, another thing. And why would, like someone said, why would she have the baby if she intentionally crashed the vehicle while she was pregnant? She wasn't showing concern for the baby, so why? But I guess they have to do paternity to make sure it's his baby. Who knows? Because somebody says that. You just got new hearing aids today, and loud and clear. Okay, thank you, Twisted. Give Scooter a recommendation.
You need to get some too. Huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Carolyn, a recommendation.
No, my eyes are bad, not my ears. I have very good hearing.
Your ears too.
No, they're not.
You don't hear me sometimes.
Oh, Jimmy, that's intentional.
Yeah, mumble.
You do mumble.
No, I don't.
Jimmy, I have very good hearing. I tell you, just name the time and the place, and I'll go for a hearing test, and you'll see. I have excellent hearing.
No, I used to think that too until I didn't.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy! I'm telling you, name the time and the place.
I had excellent hearing until I didn't.
No, you didn't have good hearing, Jimmy. But name the time and the place. Just go ahead, make the appointment. I'll show you. I have excellent hearing. I don't know why you're saying that.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a hearing test online, guys? There's probably a hearing test somewhere you could take it online, right?
No,
Jimmy, the first thing, if something was wrong with my hearing, listen to me. I would be the first one to get something to fix it. I wouldn't.
No, you never,
No,
honey, I never knew something was wrong with my hearing.
Oh my goodness, we're going to
Can't
do this
tell.
again.
You can't tell.
Jimmy, tell me why you think something's wrong with my hearing. Just tell me why.
Huh?
Tell me why.
I don't know, because a lot of times I think I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Jimmy.
I hear you're saying, but you don't.
Maybe it's like selective hearing. It could
Maybe.
very well be selective hearing.
That's what the doctor said. The doctor said.
No.
When I told him, I said, he goes, how come you need to get a hearing test? I go, well, my wife says I need to get my ears checked. He goes, well, yeah, well, we hear that all the time from our wives. So, but eventually I did need to get.
Oh, they
Hearing
probably
aids.
have it online. Yeah, he's just because he had something wrong with his hearing. He wants something to be wrong with my
No,
hearing.
I blew mine out with freaking loud music, probably.
I'm telling you, I'd be the first one in line. Because I don't want to miss things.
All right,
Seriously.
we'll see.
I'm telling you, there would be. I would have no qualms if something was wrong with my hearing. You bet I would be getting some kind of hearing aid.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
go ahead. Go in the other room and whisper. I'll hear everything you're saying.
Did you hear what I just said?
I heard you mumbled
I
something.
didn't say anything.
You
See?
mumbled something.
See that? I didn't say anything. You hear anything?
Ugh. I just swallowed my vitamins, and
What? What'd you say, honey?
I just swallowed my vitamins.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
No, but I didn't have enough
Drink.
coffee really to do
What
that.
about food? You need a snack?
No, you know what I'd like? All right, so let me see here. So we have to follow up this case November 19th, and then let me see what is there. Is there? Let me just have a little. Is there? There's none of that. Another little bit of You don't have that drink.
I got cranberry grape.
Any of that kombucha that I was supposed to have one? You drank it all.
That's gone. No
Okay.
kombucha.
You drank
How
it.
about cranberry grape?
Well, let me see. What is it?
Apple and Eve, 100% cranberry grape juice.
Anybody been?
What?
Have you been?
No.
Okay, Luke does sometimes.
Come on.
All right, I'll just have a little bit of that, like this much. Okay. Because I feel like my vitamin. Sorry, guys, I'll be right there.
Watch what you're doing.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's good.
Good?
Yeah. Okay.
Please have fun, everybody, tonight.
Okay. Now, it's not everybody. Not everybody's gone now. Okay. This is true crime now.
Okay.
So let's see.
Everybody have fun.
I'm gonna see what else is with these two. I want to go because there is a group here. Let me see if there's anything here.
Grab a couple ice cubes. Make some noise.
Okay. So let's see here. Tell you what's the news here. I'm trying to see if they put anything about the baby.
Come here, honey, I love you.
I don't see anything about this baby. Let's see. Parents are seeking custody of the baby.
You want me to look up anything, honey?
Let's see. I can't. Cousin would deserves to be heard, even though he's no longer here. We won't stop getting his message out there, fighting for his baby. Okay. Let's see. So still I can't see anything about a video of her arrest. Trying to see in this group if they have anything other than I don't see anything about the birth of this baby at all. Okay. There's very little that's so far other than what I've already gone over and told you. Let's see, here's something from Syrians. Okay. There's anything here? Again, he was 22, she was 24. So she's older than Mackenzie was, but still allegedly intentionally crashing the vehicle. I don't know. Let me go on to look at what else is going on now here since got to the end of that. Now, Michael Vaughn, they're saying, you remember Michael Vaughn who was missing in Idaho? And they kept always saying something was happening. Well, there is something happening. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's see what's going on with Michael Vaughn here. I believe it was the neighbor charged with murder and kidnapping. Thought we had heard this before, though, remember? But Stacy Wondra, 4 years after the disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn, police in Idaho have charged his former neighbor with murder and related charges. So let's see what the prosecutor's office says. And they say, here's a Michael Vaughn case update from Michael Duke, Fayette County prosecutor. It says, my office is moving forward with charges against the individuals involved in the disappearance and murder of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn, which occurred in the summer of 2021. After a robust investigation by the Fruitland Police Department and countless assisting agencies, we have unfortunately been unable to locate Michael to recover his remains. Our foremost hope has always been to recover Michael, but delays now risk further harm to his loved ones. We believe we know the individuals involved and are committed to pursuing justice with or without Michael's recovery. The charges are only possible as a result of Fruitland's unyielding tenacity and perseverance. They have not ceased to work this case since the crime occurred, and they are continuing to search and investigate so they can bring Michael's body home. As Chief Huff has previously stated, it would be foolish to believe Fruitland PD will ever stop in their pursuit of recovering one of the most cherished members of our community, a child. I would remind the public that anyone accused of a crime by my office is entitled to the presumption of innocence, and it is this office's duty to prove that they are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. I would also ask the public and media to be sensitive to how a case like this is to the surviving family members and neighbors, and ask that any efforts to speak with those involved be tempered appropriately. Cases such as these tend to thrust family members into the public eye against their will, and it's my hope that the public will respect their privacy as they weather this difficult process. And it's signed Michael Duke. Okay. Let's see here. Police charge Stacy Wonder. Police say that Wondra and his former wife, Sarah Wondra, lived near the Vaughn family residence in Fruitland when he vanished. Investigators executed a search warrant on Wondra's former property on November 11, 2022, and obtaining a credible tip that a body had been buried in the backyard of the home on Red Wing Street. And I remember that. We covered that. And then a video there were news reports that a video leaked showing Stacy Wondra while on FaceTime directing investigators to where he claimed Sarah had buried Michael. No remains were found, and detectives believe the remains were likely moved to another location. Both Stacy and Sarah Wondra were then named as suspects. The prosecutor's office said in the press statement that despite not having the victims' remains, they have enough evidence that's been gathered to make the charges possible. Let's see. Sarah Wondra is not facing charges, not currently. She was initially charged with failing to report a death, but those charges were dropped in 2022. Stacy Wondra is currently at a prison in Arizona on unrelated charges and has not yet been extradited to Idaho. So we'll be following up on that. Let's see what else we have here going on. Okay. Pennsylvania. Oh, wow. Okay. What else do we have? 7-year-old boy found dead in the freezer. Mom, dad, and grandma arrested. That's unbelievable. There's a trial scheduled, death penalty possible for the perpetrator who scaled a wall to shoot a gorgeous lawyer asleep in her bed. What's this about? Let's see. What is this trial coming up? The murder trial for a Kentucky man accused of killing a former Kentucky lawmaker's daughter during a 2022 Richmond home invasion is set for next year. Gilday, who fled to Florida and was captured in Richmond, Kentucky when he returned to the area a week later, appeared in court on Monday. Tentative trial date was scheduled for May 1st of 2026. Let's see what that's about. Gilday. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this. This wind is crazy out here, but that's the house. And Shannon Gilday, the man accused of shooting and killing Jordan Morgan while trying to invade her father's home in Madison County. Let's see this. Case is expected to go to trial in May of 2026. Let's see about this case. Detective alleged the shooter was willing to kill everyone at the former Kentucky lawmaker's home. Shannon Gilday, the man accused of killing 32-year-old lawyer during a deadly home invasion, was determined to get access to a bunker underneath the home and was willing to kill everyone inside, said the Kentucky State Police detective. That's what Gilday told State Police Detective Cameron Allen, the main investigator for the shooting, during an extensive 3+ hour interview after Gilday was arrested on, let's see, how many days did it take him to get arrested? It was February 28th of 2022 when he was arrested. let's see. He wanted the security of the bunker, Allen said when describing what Gilday told him during their interview. He stated that his beliefs at the time, given the current political environment in our country as well as the world, and the events that had taken place throughout the world, he wanted access to this bunker and secure it for himself and his family and friends. Allen also testified that police found weaponry and military fatigues in Gilday's car after the shooting. Madison District Judge Charles Hardin ultimately determined there was probable cause in Gilday's case and sent it to the grand jury. Gilday's attorney didn't make any arguments against the prosecutors having probable cause. Gilday is charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, assault, burglary, and criminal mischief. The shooting resulted in the death of Jordan Morgan, a Lexington attorney and the daughter of C. Wesley Morgan, a former Kentucky lawmaker and retired businessman. C. Wesley Morgan was injured in the shooting. Allen said Gilday waived his right to an attorney before the interview. He described Gilday as forthcoming and detailed with his answers. During our conversation, he confessed to shooting his way into the residence on 1266 Willis Branch on the morning of February 22nd, armed with an AR-15 rifle that he had owned at the time and had owned for several years. He confessed to shooting Jordan Morgan numerous times in her bed. He confessed to shooting Wesley Morgan in the downstairs bedroom as he came down the steps. He confessed to shooting multiple rounds into the bedroom door of Morgan's teenage daughter, as he believed there were people in that bedroom once he made entry into that master suite. Allen also talked about some of the search warrants carried out in the investigation. A search at Gilday's apartment unveiled notes and documents that connected him to the crime, such as directions to the home, notes about the family's sleep schedules, and a layout of the house with potential access points. Police executed a search warrant for Gilday's vehicle, which led to the discovery of an AR-15, camouflage military fatigues, a long nylon rope in the trunk. Allen said the rifle and the apparel were used during the break-in. Gilday had previously served in the military and was dishonorably discharged. Let's see. Allen said the Morgans' property suffered over $1,000 in damage as a result of the burglary and shooting. The upstairs glass doorway where Gilday made entry was completely destroyed from the gunshots and had to be replaced. Allen said a downstairs bedroom window was also shot out. There was a substantial amount of damage throughout the house due to projectiles that were launched towards walls and basement doors, into the mattress of Mr. Morgan, as well as the mattress of his daughter. Morgan's younger daughter, along with his wife, Lindsay, fled the residence during the shootout between Gilday and Morgan Allen. Allen said. They were located near the barn when police initially arrived, and Lindsay told investigators she saw an unknown white sedan vehicle parked on the property. Okay, so that trial is due to start. Let's see what else we have. A judge recently ruled the death penalty is on the table if Gilday is convicted. The defense argued for the removal of the death penalty due to mental illness. Oh, my Zoom just stopped. Due to idleness. It said we were idle. Due to mental illness, but Mayer found no documented history at the time of the offense, citing state law requirements. Trial scheduled after years of delays. It was finally scheduled. Let's see here. Morgan family pushed for the death penalty. Jordan Morgan's family and friends have been vocal about seeking justice. Lisa Foster, Morgan's mother, said it's difficult to keep pushing for justice while grieving, but she believes the death penalty is appropriate. The heartache and the pain is the thing that you feel constantly, and then when you have come to court to try to defend your dead daughter and ask for something like the death penalty, which is what I'm asking for, it's really hard. Morgan was an attorney, a former deputy press secretary for Governor Bevin, and known for her work both in government and private law. So we've got that coming up. Let me make sure that you can still hear me. Okay. Hi, little lady. How are you? Frilly Farmhouse. Where do we have it? Yes, Brandy. Oh, it's one hell of a fighter. Okay. My mom was telling me about that earlier. 11-year-old boy. Okay, let's see. What else is going on? The wind is so bad. If something happens and I'm just gone, you just be known that it's taking me out. Oh, they had that trial for that teacher that got shot by the 6-year-old. That was going on this week. Wow, 6 people collapsed at a Colorado dairy farm and died? What was that? Let's see what happened. Exposure to hydrogen sulfide gas. Wow. What was that about? At a dairy? Hold on a moment. I'm trying to get you guys a graphic here. Oh, here it is. It says the autopsy results 6 people who died at a Colorado dairy farm in August were exposed to toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. According to OSHA, exposure to hydrogen sulfide gas at very high concentrations can quickly lead to death. The autopsy reports did not indicate the circumstances of the deaths. Hydrogen sulfide is colorless but has a sulfurous smell similar to rotten eggs. OSHA warns that those who have breathed in enough hydrogen sulfide to become unconscious but survive can still struggle with long-term health effects, such as headaches and poor attention span. The deceased had been identified as Ricardo Gomez Galvan, Montanez, Casanas, Carlos Espinoza Prada, George Sanchez Peña, Alejandro Espinosa Cruz, and Oscar Espinosa Leos, who was just 17 years old at the time of his death. Cruz was the father of Leos and Prada. Wow, 3 members of the family. The men were also related to Peña through marriage. Oh my gosh. 4 members of a family killed there. That's crazy. Where is the gas coming from? Where would they have... People are in shock. Everybody in the ranching and dairy community knows it's difficult, hard work, and there are accidents, said Reverend Thomas Cuffle, a priest at a Catholic church, including Holy Family in Keensburg. But this is very foreign to them in that accidents are typically 1 or 2 people. That's crazy. Late August, the bodies of 6 people, which had since been identified as 5 men and 1 teenager, were discovered in an apparent accident. They were in a confined space where the bodies were found. Wow. I don't know where's the gas coming from in the dairy farm? Is it something? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, did you hear, what's his name? Oh, Scooter, are you there? You love the Royals. Andrew got stripped of his title, and so did Sarah Ferguson. King Charles strips his brother Andrew of the prince title and evicts him from the royal mansion because he got heckled really bad, Charles did. Let's see. Britain's King Charles took the extraordinary step of starting the process to strip his brother Andrew of his royal titles and evict him from the royal estate in Windsor. In the most dramatic attempt yet to quell the scandal over the disgraced prince's links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The move, described in stark terms by Buckingham Palace as necessary censures, cements the deepest split in the British royal family in decades. The question now whether King Charles and the British establishment have done enough to prevent Andrew's association with Epstein from engulfing the monarchy. Andrew's 65 and he's faced 15 years of on and off again controversy over his friendship with Epstein. That had reached a new intensity after the release of a posthumous memoir by Virginia Giuffre, who alleged that Andrew had essayed her as a teenager. Virginia, who the prince claims to never have met, died by suicide in April at the age of 41. Andrew has repeatedly denied all allegations against him. Virginia's family said in a statement on Thursday, today, an extraordinary American girl from an ordinary American family brought down a British prince with her truth and extraordinary courage. Let's see. Her brother Sky Roberts said that it had been a joyous and happy and sad day. In a statement, Buckingham Palace noted that Andrew would be forced out of his residence and take the family name. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Let's see. Andrew will move to a property on the Sandringham estate about 100 miles north of London, which is privately owned by the British monarch. Royal Lodge sits within Windsor Great Park, part of the Crown Estate, which manages the royal family land and property holdings on behalf of the British state. Andrew's new accommodation will be privately funded by King Charles. It's understood the palace acted because, while it acknowledges that Andrew continues to deny all allegations made against him, it has concluded that he has made some serious lapses of judgment. Andrew is not expected to move until after the Christmas holidays. Let's see. Public anger has also grown after it emerged last week that he paid $1 million for a royal lodge in the heart of Windsor Great Park near Windsor Castle in 2003 and only a peppercorn rent if demanded each year since, according to his lease agreement. Let's see. I know they said that Andrew's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, will retain their titles as they are the daughters of the son of a sovereign, in line with rules set out by King George V in 1917. Andrew's ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, who has lived with him for the past 20 years at Royal Lodge, will also move out and is understood to be making her own arrangements. Ferguson, 66, is the mother of Andrew's 2 children. So she was older than him? How old is he? 65. She was a year older. Maybe I knew that. Let's see. They wed in 1986 and divorced a decade later. She previously held the title of Duchess of York, but reverted to her maiden name when Andrew relinquished his titles earlier this month. Okay. What is this now? South Carolina? South Carolina's been executing, I wonder what the heck is going on with Tim Jones. Let me see what's going on here. Let's see what's happening over here. we've got this guy. What the heck did I just... Hold on a moment. Something just happened to my... What I was going to tell you about this. Hang on. Let me get this. Nope. What just happened? Computer's being such a little jerk right now. It's not usually. I swear it's the wind or something. It's being ridiculous. Hang on. Come on. Okay. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, just hang on with me. It's weather. I think it's doing something to my internet. It's being like unbelievably slow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Father of two fell to his death climbing a popular California peak. Yikes. But I want to get to this, what we're doing over here first. Okay. Hold on, I've got to go all the way back to where Oh my gosh, an 84-year-old woman stabbed by our home health aide. What? Okay, hang on. How come I just... So crazy. If I look, I want to tell you about this guy in South Carolina. All right, it's ridiculous. If I don't get it. All right, here we go. Finally. South Carolina man on death row chooses his execution by the firing squad. Stephen Bryant, 44, will become the third person in the state to die by firing squad this year. He's scheduled to be executed on November 14th, when 3 volunteer shooters will open fire on him from 15 feet away. South Carolina added the option of death by marksman in 2021, in part due to the state's struggles to procure the drugs required for lethal injection. A 13-year pause in state-sponsored killings ended in 2024. Bryant has been sitting on death row since, I'll tell you how long he's been sitting there. What did you just do to me? Hold on. This is like a joke now. Okay. All right. My goodness. I don't know if this wind just wants to destroy the show tonight because the internet is being beyond a little jerk. Unless I just lost connection altogether. Let me see if my internet's even hooked up anymore. Because it's not responding at all. Let's see if you're still there. Okay, let's see if you're still here. Are we still live? I don't know. To Scooter, I'm trying to email you. Did you get it? You're trying to email Scooter? I don't know. Little lady's trying to email you, Scooter. Oh, thank you, MSL. How come I didn't hear the little chime? Carolyn, thank you for your dedication. You are by far my favorite. Oh, thank you, MSL. That means the world to me. Thank you. I needed to hear that tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much, MSL. What's going on? What are you guys emailing about? I feel left out. I feel left out, little lady. Are you passing notes and not sharing? Okay. You're there now? Thank you, MSL. I hope MSL heard me. I didn't get the little ding that I usually get. What happened to our Christmas carols? Thank you so much, MSL. Okay, let me see if I can get back to this. All right, let's see here. Thanks for staying with me here while I'm having this internet freakage. You have the best people here. Okay. So let me get over here. So this is Stephen Bryant. He will be the third man to die this year in South Carolina. Now, his decision to die by being shot from 15 feet away means there will likely be a court fight about the execution over the next 2 weeks. Attorneys for the second and most recent man shot to death said the shooters nearly missed Mahdi's heart. They suggested Mahdi was in agonizing pain for 3 or 4 times longer than experts say he would have been if his heart had been hit directly. They released photos from the autopsy and questioned why there only appeared to be 2 bullet entrance wounds when 3 people fired. Witnesses reported several moans and groans from Mahdi that did not happen during the first firing squad execution of Brad Sigmund. It also took Mahdi longer, about 80 seconds, to take his final breath. Prison officials said the execution went as planned and the shooters only had to hit the heart, not destroy it. They said when volunteers practice their marksmanship, often 2 bullets enter the same place in the body. Experts hired by Mahdi's lawyers who reviewed the autopsy and the bullet hole in his body was not jagged enough to have been made by 2 bullets. In contrast, the autopsy of Brad Sigmund, the first man killed by firing squad in the state, showed 3 distinct bullet wounds and his heart was obliterated, said Dr. Jonathan Arden, a pathologist hired by the attorneys for condemned inmates. South Carolina added the firing squad during a 13-year pause in executions, in part because the state could not obtain the drugs needed for lethal injections. Brad Sigmund was executed by the firing squad in March of 2025, the first execution of its kind in the U.S. since 2010. Maqal Mahdi was also executed a month later in April of 2025. Before the South Carolina executions since 1977, only 3 other prisoners in the U.S. have been executed by firing squad. All were in Utah. Ronnie Gardner, the last prisoner to be executed by firing squad in 2010. Bryant's execution will be the 8th in South Carolina since executions restarted in September of 2024. Apart from the firing squad, all others chose execution by lethal injection. The state also has an electric chair. Let's see. Investigators say killings terrorized South Carolina County. Bryant admitted to killing Willard T.J. Teitchen after stopping by his secluded home in rural Sumter County and saying he had car trouble. Willard was shot several times. Candles were lit around his body. Someone took a pot holder made by his daughter when she was a child, dipped the corner in blood, and wrote, "Victim 4 in 2 weeks, catch me if you can," on the wall, authorities said. Willard's daughter called him several times, getting more worried when he didn't answer. On the 6th call, she testified a strange voice answered and said he had killed Willard. Prosecutors say Bryant also killed 2 men, one before and one after Willard. He gave the men rides, and when they got out to urinate on the side of lonely rural roads, he shot them in the back. Bryant's lawyers say he was troubled in the months before the killing, begging a probation agent and his aunt to get him help because he couldn't stop thinking about being essayed by 4 male relatives when he was a child. Bryant's death will be the 50th execution in South Carolina since the death penalty was reinstated 40 years ago. Okay, according to the Death Penalty Information Center, South Carolina currently has 27 inmates on death row, and no clemencies have ever been granted in the state. Let's see here. Where is the firing squad? I mean, how is that the electric chair? That doesn't look like the electric chair. Okay. So that was what I wanted to tell you about there, but then I want to tell you about that Massapequa thing. That woman that was killed in Massapequa. Well, let me get to that. By a home health aide? It's crazy. What happened here? It's terrible. Okay. So, she had a really nice house, but it's not showing the house here. It's showing the outside. She had a really nice house. Okay, let's see. I'll show it to you in a second. Let's see. An 84-year-old woman was stabbed in her Massapequa home, and family members allege the suspect is her home health aide. It happened this week on Bay Drive and Merrick Road. Police arrested 23-year-old Amanda Frazier, charging her with second-degree attempted murder. They did not release any information about a possible motive. Victim shows overnight home health aide stabbing the woman, her son claims. The victim's son said Wednesday morning a home health aide came to the house for her morning shift and saw blood and a knife on the floor. The victim was found suffering from stab wounds to the chest. She was taken to a local hospital where she underwent surgery. Her son said she is expected to survive. Thank God. According to the son, surveillance footage shows the mother's overnight home health aide get into bed with his mother and began to stab her. The worker then allegedly tried to drive away, crashed in the driveway of the home, got out of the vehicle, and ran away. What the heck was that for? Officials were in the neighborhood throughout the day gathering evidence. Massapequa High School and Birch Lane Elementary School were placed under a secure lockdown for about 90 minutes as a precaution. Wow. Huh. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else going on. Man convicted of killing siblings over debts linked to romance scam. Romance scam. Let's see who did that. Oh, it's a Pakistani man. Let's see what happened here. I know some people on YouTube, some romance stuff. I don't know. Spanish jury on Thursday found a Pakistani man guilty of murdering 3 siblings in their 70s over debts reportedly linked to an online romance scam. In Spain, a jury's guilty verdict is followed by the judge sentencing, typically announced days or weeks later. Public prosecutors are seeking a 36-year prison term for Delawar Hussein, who admitted to killing 2 sisters and their disabled brother near Madrid in December of 2023. Hussein has been held in custody since he turned himself in the following month after police found the siblings' partially burned bodies inside their home. The siblings had been beaten to death, possibly with an iron bar. The civil guard stated that the motive of the crime appeared to be a debt the siblings had with the suspect linked to the sisters' apparent involvement in an online scam. Neighbors said the 2 sisters believed they were in a long-distance relationship with 2 apparent U.S. servicemen. They were led to believe one of the servicemen had died and the other needed money to cover costs so he could send them a share of a multi-million euro inheritance, causing the sisters to rack up significant debts. Hussein, who rented a room in the siblings' house, reportedly lent the sisters at least $58,000, which they never repaid, prompting him to attack one of the sisters with a hammer in February of 2023. He received a 2-year prison sentence for the attack, but it was suspended because it was his first offense, as is customary under Spanish law. Oh, wow. During his testimony on Tuesday At his Madrid trial for the siblings' murder, Hussein asked for forgiveness and said he heard voices. "I was not in my right mind," he said. Wow, really? A local man who was friends of the victim said the woman's insistence on sending money to their supposed boyfriends had caused them to sell a property they owned in Madrid. "We told them it was all a lie, that it was a scam, but they didn't want to hear the word scam." Hussein faces a separate trial for allegedly murdering his 39-year-old Bulgarian cellmate in February of 2024 while in a Madrid prison. Well, and they're thinking of just letting him out after 30. Okay. Oh my gosh. Romance scammers drain billions of dollars from people seeking love, and their tactics have evolved in sinister ways in an online age. More than 64,000 Americans were taken for over $1 billion in romance scams in 2023. Double the $500 million just 4 years earlier. About half of the people who use dating sites say they've come across somebody who's tried to scam them. No matter how advanced you think your ability to understand what's out there, they're going to deceive so many people, and we really have to get in front of this. Wow. What else we have? Oh boy. All right, let's see. Oh, the monkeys escaped. Did you hear about the monkeys? Remember the ones that escaped into South Carolina, but this is Mississippi. Let's see here. Put this over here. The recent escape of several research monkeys after a truck carrying them overturned on a Mississippi interstate is the latest glimpse into the secretive industrial world of animal research and the process that allow key details of what happened to be kept from the public. 3 monkeys have remained on the loose since the crash on Tuesday in a rural area along Interstate 59, spilling wooden crates labeled "live monkeys" into the tall grass near the highway. Since then, searchers in masks, face shields, and other protective equipment have scoured nearby fields and woods for the missing primates. 5 of the 21 monkeys were on board, were killed during the search, but it was unclear how that happened. It's unclear how that happened? Mississippi authorities have not disclosed the company involved in transporting the monkeys, where the monkeys were headed, and who owns them, while Tulane University in New Orleans has acknowledged that the monkeys had been housed at its National Biomedical Research Center in Covington, Louisiana. It says it doesn't own them and won't identify who does. An initial report from the sheriff described the monkeys as aggressive and carrying diseases such as herpes, adding to the confusion. Tulane later said the monkeys were free of pathogens, but it's still unclear what kind of research the monkeys were used for. When a truck carrying 21 monkeys crashes on a public highway, the community has a right to know who owned those animals, where they were being sent, and what diseases they might have been exposed to and harbored simply by being caught up in the primate experimentation industry. 3 monkeys are still on the loose. And let's see. 13. To the best of Tulane's knowledge, the 13 recovered animals remain in the possession of their owner. The crash has drawn a range of reactions from conspiracy theories that suggest a government plot to sicken people to serious responses from people who oppose experimenting on animals. Let's see. Last November, 43 of the same kind of monkeys escaped from a South Carolina compound that breeds them for medical research after an enclosure wasn't fully locked. By late January, the last 4 escapees were recaptured after being lured back into captivity by peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In January of 2022, several monkeys escaped when a truck towing a trailer of about 100 collided with a dump truck on a Pennsylvania highway. The monkeys were headed to a quarantine facility in an undisclosed location after arriving at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York on a flight from an Indian Ocean island nation. Thanks. Oh, wow, look at this. I just saw something. Hold on a minute. Okay. The former Marine who opened fire in a Michigan church and set it ablaze last month was motivated by anti-religious beliefs against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the FBI confirmed on Friday. Friends of the gunman in the shooting say that he harbored hatred for what is widely known as the Mormon Church. The FBI had previously declined to specify the motivation behind the attack that left 4 people dead and the church burned to the ground, except to say it was targeted act of violence. The gunman, Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40 years old, was killed by law enforcement responding to the shooting. I am confirming this is a targeted act of violence believed to be motivated by the assailant's anti-religious beliefs against the Mormon religious community, said Jennifer Runyon, special agent in charge of the FBI Detroit field office. The agency declined to share further information on what led to that conclusion. Sanford drove his pickup truck into the side of the Latter-day Saints Chapel in Grand Blanc Township, 60 miles, 80 kilometers northwest of Detroit on Sunday, September 28th, and began shooting at congregants. Authorities have said he used gasoline as an accelerant to light the church on fire. Let's see, body camera footage shows a police officer yelling, "Drop the gun, drop the gun, drop it now." One of the officers tells another, "I've got your back. Back here, man. Yeah, stay there, shoot him." The FBI said Friday that 9 people were injured in the attack. The previous official count had been 8. During our initial investigation, an individual was determined to be injured during the critical incident. The agency declined to comment Friday on the nature of the additional injury. The 4 people who were killed have been identified through family and friends as Craig Hayden, William Pat Howard, John Bond, and Thelma Armstrong. Lisa Lewis, who was in the chapel when her father Hayden was fatally shot, wrote in a letter that after looking into the shooter's eyes, she forgave him with her heart. Let's see. Okay. Keeping stepson prisoner. All right, let's see. Sean Diddy. What are we doing with Sean Diddy? Isn't he supposed... Hold on a minute. Sean Diddy serving his sentence at low security prison of choice. Prison of choice. I think it's... Okay, let's see where he's going. He looks... Is this him really now? Because he looks like he's put on a lot of... His neck looks as wide as his head. Oh, you didn't get over there. Did you get over there? Get over there and stay there. Okay, let's see what's going on with him. Sean Diddy has entered the low-security New Jersey prison that his legal team requested for him, where he's expected to spend the remainder of his 50-month sentence. Combs' sensational 8-week federal trial this summer ended with him acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges, but found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution in violation of the Mann Act. He was sentenced on October 3rd to 4 years and 2 months in prison. He was made to pay $500,000 fine, and he'll have 5 years of probation upon his release. On Thursday, he, let's see. What did he do on Thursday? He's expected to remain until May of 2028. Prior to his move, Combs was being held in a Brooklyn federal lockup since September 2024. Let's see. Tell us about what... Where is he, though? Are they going to tell us about this place where he is? Sentence at a low-security prison of his choice. Huh. Oh, he's at the Forks. Hold on a minute. On Thursday, the rapper whose high-flying hip-hop lifestyle came crashing down entered Fort Dix facility on Thursday, where he's expected to remain until May. Fort Dix facility. Let's see what that looks like. Fort Dix facility. Federal Correctional Institute at Fort Dix, the low-security prison where Sean Diddy is going. Let's see what it's like. Okay. It's the largest single federal prison in the U.S. Just over 4,100 total male inmates, including 3,900 at the FCI and about 200 in an adjacent minimum security satellite camp. Prison is attached to the military base, Fort Dix in southern New Jersey. It's about an hour's drive from Philadelphia and about an hour and a half from New York City, where Combs was born and where he's currently incarcerated. The prison has hosted a number of high-profile figures, including Real Housewives of New Jersey, Joe Guidici. What is he? How do you say his last name? Guidici? I don't know. I don't watch that show, so I don't know him. Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and Pharma Bro Martin Shkreli. Fort Dix is a weird beast. It had problems with gang violence, contraband drugs, and phones and not enough staff. Okay. In general, low security prisons like Fort Dix are pretty laid-back places with little violence. They tend to have dorm-style settings and communal bathrooms. One appeal of it is its RDAP program, an intensive 9 to 12-month treatment program for prisoners with substance abuse problems. Graduates of the program can get their sentences reduced by up to a year. Let's see. Filmmaker Seth Ferrante served over 2 decades in federal prison. Reflected on his experience there, he said when he first transferred, he found it wide open for a prison, more like a little town of its own, he wrote, coming down from higher security facilities. Hold on, something just went like flying over here. I don't know what the heck just happened. Okay. I spent the bulk of my 21-year sentence in. I was surprised at the laid-back attitudes of both the staff and the inmates, who seemed to operate on a different wavelength from the more ferocious federal pens. Don't get it twisted, though. It's still a prison at the end of the day. Prison sucks no matter where you're at. Prison has had several high-profile incidents of contraband. Let's see. Shirilla, for one, was reportedly running his pharmaceutical company behind bars using a contraband smartphone. He was later transferred to a prison in Pennsylvania. In 2020, several men were arrested and charged in a scheme in which they used drones to smuggle cell phones, phone chargers, tobacco, and other items into the prison. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for that, for the current headlines. Let me see. Little Lady said he should have gotten more time, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to be really scared when he gets out, right? Really scared. Dr. Phil has all those ladies on who think they're in a relationship with someone online. It's wild. Thousands of dollars. Yeah. Hey, Frilly Farmhouse. How come I'm not getting the thingy-majig? I'm not getting the thing. Like the Christmas. Niece got a membership. Okay, Niece, be sure to thank Frilly Farmhouse for your membership. Thank you for that membership, Frilly Farmhouse. Jen Proctor, happy Halloween. I don't know why I'm not getting the chime when that goes off. Is anybody else hearing the chime? Thank you, Frilly, and thank you, MSL. Appreciate that. Okay, let's it's the end of the month, huh? Tomorrow's November 1st. I cannot believe it. I'm really not going swimming again this year in the lake. Okay. Sometimes you hold out hope a little bit in September, then forget it. And now it's like for sure. For sure. Okay. Now we look forward to spring. Anyway, let me get the word game up here. A lot of our peeps are missing tonight. Everybody's Halloweening out. Nice. Abuelita came up. Really came up. That was nice. Scooter and Jen Grill. Denise. And we lost electricity, and I think that killed us a little bit because we didn't get to do our redirect over. All right, let's see here. Okay. What do you guys got? Anything? You waited for trick-or-treaters? Not even one. Oh, it's horrible here. We don't get trick-or-treaters though, little lady, but it's horrible. I'm glad I didn't have anybody to go trick-or-treating with this year. Because it's horrible here. It's so windy. Can you hear that wind? It's just howling. All day I felt like I just wanted to stay under the covers in the, heated chair. It's so sleepy. Like, I talked to Becky before and she goes, "Are you just getting up?" I'm like, "No, I've been up. I'm just, I feel just so like I could go back to sleep." It was, you hear that wind? Can you hear that wind? I don't know if you can. It's tremendous. And then what happens is, yeah, it's just horrible. Horrible. Hey, Dank, how are ya? Assist, you got it. You got it. Very good. Time. Oh,